Halle Bailey just dropped a bomb on her baby daddy DDG in court, and the receipts are wild. We're talking bruises, chipped teeth, and a judge who couldn't believe what they were hearing and granted her temporary custody.
Halle was granted temporary sole physical and legal custody of her son that she shares with DDG, Halo, until June 4th, until a court hearing.
We're about to break down everything from the shocking court docs to DDG's live reaction when he found out and all the juicy drama that's still unfolding. Halle's restraining order against DDG. In a move nobody saw coming, the Little Mermaid baddie Halle Bailey, 25, just secured a restraining order against her baby daddy and ex-man DDG after dropping a bomb 52-page filing in Los Angeles County Superior Court on May 13, 2025. The tea is scalding hot, fam, with Bailey bringing all the receipts for physical, verbal, emotional, and financial abuse. Talk about going from BAE to bail real quick. The court docs are reading like a straight episode of First 48, detailing a January 2025 incident where DDG allegedly yanked Halle's hair and smashed her face into the steering wheel, literally chipping her tooth and leaving her arms all bruised up. Halle ain't just talking either. She brought the receipts with photos of all her injuries. In her own words, "I then stopped fighting back as I was in a lot of pain." That's wild, bruh. The court documents break it all down. According to Halle, she was just trying to strap little man Halo into his car seat during what was supposed to be a regular convo about visitation. Instead, DDG allegedly got all heated and started yelling, "Get out of my car," which made their son start crying. When Halle wasn't trying to bounce because she was worried about Halo, things got mad ugly. The pics of her injuries that went to the judge reportedly show clear marks on her arms and damage to her tooth. That's that hard evidence you can't just talk your way out of. The toxic behavior was steady too. In another episode that sounds like something from a Tyler Perry movie, DDG allegedly broke into Halle's crib in March 2025, snuck a pic of her empty bed, then sent it with some suspect text implying she was creeping around. The court docs say he texted something like, "Now I know what you've been on LOL," which is giving major trust issues and jealousy. Like, who does that type of weirdo stuff? When she later wasn't trying to let him take their son Halo because both she and the baby were sick, that's just basic parenting, no cap. He reportedly smashed her phone, busted her Ring doorbell, and launched her phone out the whip window, all while calling her out her name. Police report? You already know she filed that. According to the court docs, Halle said DDG straight pulled off with her phone while she was still holding Halo, leaving her stranded with no way to hit anybody up. That's some super foul behavior with a baby involved. The drama kept coming when during Mother's Day 2025, DDG had the audacity to accuse Halle of being with other men while she was just on vacation with her sister and their baby in St. Lucia. The jealousy jumped out for real. According to what she told the court, DDG was sending her weird messages accusing her of being with that R&B singer Brent Faiyaz on some private island based on some internet gossip. Imagine trying to enjoy your Mother's Day trip and dealing with that type of nonsense. The judge wasn't playing no games and immediately granted a temporary restraining order keeping DDG at least 100 yards back from Halle, their 16-month-old son Halo, their home, and her whip. He also can't have no weapons and, this the crazy part, can't talk about Halle or Halo on any of his socials. YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Insta, X. That's a major L for a content creator who's always putting his business in the streets. The social media ban is extra tough because a big part of Halle's complaint is that DDG been using his massive platform to send his followers after her. Legal experts saying this type of restriction becoming more common in these high-profile cases where online harassment can be just as dangerous as someone pulling up on you. Taking away a content creator's ability to monetize drama with their baby mama is hitting them right in the pockets and shows the court ain't playing about this situation. In a big W for mama bear rights everywhere, Halle was also granted temporary sole physical and legal custody of little man Halo until June 4, 2025. The judge gonna decide then if this becomes permanent, but Halle already asking that DDG be limited to supervised visits only. We talking 6 hours weekly with a professional chaperone. On God, this type of supervised visitation request ain't just thrown around for nothing. And the fact that the judge granted the temporary custody order suggests they wasn't playing about Halle's concerns for her son's safety. Court documents show she specifically requested that the supervised visits happen only in Los Angeles County with a professional third party present, them. Strict requirements showing just how serious she is about protecting her seed. Halle ain't playing about them safety concerns either, asking for a child abduction prevention order that would stop DDG from getting travel docs for Halo or taking him outside LA County without her written permission. If he does get travel approval, he'd have to provide full itineraries, contact info, and an open airline ticket for Halle in case he tries to pull something shady. She's thinking 10 steps ahead like a real chess player. The abduction prevention request shows Halle ain't taking no chances. According to her filing, she's worried based on DDG's very agitated behavior when taking Halo in the past, plus them times he allegedly took the child without permission and wouldn't tell her where they were at or when they'd be back. The court taking these concerns seriously enough to put them preventative measures in place speaks volumes about what they think of of the situation. What's setting off all them red flags is how DDG allegedly been weaponizing his massive online platform against Halle. The court docs call out how he's been using his millions of followers to talk mad trash about her, including a May 5th Twitch stream where he implied she was gatekeeping their son. According to Halle, this created a straight-up firestorm online and completely misrepresented how she's been trying to co-parent. The toxic stan culture is mad real, no cap. The filing breaks down how DDG's accusations on his May 5th, 2025 Twitch live stream while Halle was at the Met Gala led to mad harassment from his fans online. This showing how different these modern relationship beefs are, where social media can multiply the abuse and harassment to crazy levels. When somebody with millions of followers sends their audience at an X, the real-world consequences can get real dangerous real quick. Like that wasn't enough, Halle also dropped the bombshell that DDG has never paid child support but has threatened to withhold it, make sense, and has used money to control her. Plus, she claims he's taken Halo without permission multiple times, including when the baby was sick, and ghosted her about where they were at and when they'd be back. The audacity is on a whole other level. The plot twist that got everybody talking is that Halle filed the restraining order without giving DDG no heads up because she feared he might get violent again or try to run off with Halo. This explains why Homie looked completely caught off guard when he found out about it during a live stream. More on that tea coming up. Her legal team suggested this approach based on how serious the allegations are and the potential risk of him retaliating, which is common in cases with a history of hands being put on people. Family court lawyers commenting on the case note that emergency restraining orders without notice to the other party only get granted when there's strong evidence of immediate danger. The fact that the judge granted Halle's request suggests they believed her fear was legit and the risk was real enough to warrant immediate action. This type of judicial response tells you the evidence presented wasn't no small thing. The court has ordered both parties to hop on a mediation call on May 30th to try working out custody arrangements. If they can't settle, and let's keep it a buck, the vibes are not giving peaceful resolution. The June 4th hearing will decide everything. Legal experts already saying that with how serious these allegations are, reaching an agreement in mediation seems unlikely, setting the stage for what could be a heated court battle. Relationship therapists looking at the case point out that the toxic pattern described in the court documents suggests deep-seated issues that would make productive mediation extremely challenging. When allegations of putting hands on somebody are involved, the power dynamics are too unbalanced for traditional mediation to work. The June 4th hearing will likely be where the real decisions get made about little man Halo's long-term custody situation. The drama is just getting started, y'all. While we're waiting on the next court date, fans on both sides digging through old social media posts, interviews, and previous relationships, looking for signs they might have missed. The internet never forgets, and receipts from years ago suddenly getting new attention with these shocking allegations coming to light. Stay locked in as this story continues to unfold. DDG's wild reaction and how the streets is talking. DDG's reaction to the restraining order got caught in 4K during a Twitch stream with controversial streamer Aiden Ross on May 13th, 2025. The moment the news broke, DDG looked absolutely shook.
But that can't even be real.
But,
that's the thing.
But you remember we talked about last night? All that. Let me say something.
His shocked stammering kept going as reality started hitting him.
It's not.
No, I'm saying, but I don't know where that even came from.
Yo, stop these fake allegations.
Chad, DD is not gonna come on the stream.
Body language experts breaking down the clip saying DDG's reaction looks genuinely surprised and not fake, with his wide eyes, stuttering, and inability to form complete sentences suggesting he really didn't see this coming. The live stream moment already got clipped, edited, and remixed all over social media, becoming an instant meme even though this is some serious business. In classic bros before accountability energy, Aiden Ross immediately started caping for DDG, calling the allegations fake and hyping DDG as a good human being. The clip went straight viral, with everybody in the comments debating whether DDG's shock was real or if he was just acting for the camera. Aiden's knee-jerk defense of DDG without knowing nothing about the allegations got people heated, with domestic violence advocates pointing out how this automatic dismissal contributes to victims getting silenced. The live stream setting makes this moment extra wild. DDG was literally in the middle of creating content when his personal life blew up in public. The disconnect between his streaming persona and the serious legal situation unfolding in real time created a jarring moment that had viewers glued to their screens. The chat during the stream reportedly went crazy with comments, many expressing shock and confusion as they tried to figure out what was happening. Instead of addressing the serious allegations head on, DDG decided to keep streaming the next day. In a weird flex, he explained why he didn't cancel his stream despite the massive controversy.
I thought about not streaming, but I'm like, nah, I can't do what the I always tell everybody else.
This decision to keep it business as usual struck many as tone-deaf given how serious the allegations are. Media analysts point out that trying to maintain a normal content schedule during such serious legal trouble shows either extreme denial or a calculated strategy to project innocence and normalcy. Either way, it's a risky move that got everybody analyzing every word and reaction. When viewers started flooding the chat with questions about the allegations, DDG gave big mind your business energy.
Let's trying to be nosy or something. But you might as well leave.
His attempt to shut down questions about the restraining order backfired hard, with clips of this dismissive response going viral across TikTok and X. Content creators and commentary channels immediately started breaking down his body language, noting the contrast between his usually loud personality and this sudden reluctance to talk about something that directly impacts his family and career. Later in the same stream, DDG vented about viewers who were only there for drama, not because they genuinely cared about him.
I don't really know where to go with this live, to be honest. You know, it's just it's just a bunch of nosy people in here that don't give a about me. They just see what they can, just being nosy.
This moment of self-awareness about how people be rubbernecking on the internet showed a glimpse of the person behind the persona. But critics pointed out the irony of a content creator who's built a whole career on sharing personal details suddenly demanding privacy when the story ain't favorable to him no more. Outside his streams, DDG's response been weak AF. On May 14th, he posted on X, "I'm chillin' BTW. I have no worries," with a wink emoji. That's your response to abuse allegations? The internet is not feeling this dismissive energy when Halle's allegations are dead serious. PR experts called this tweet a major misstep, noting that the casual tone and winking emoji come off as disrespectful and inconsiderate given how serious the situation is. At a time when a thoughtful, measured response could help save his reputation, DDG went with a careless approach that only made more people side-eye him. Even DDG's mama jumped in the mix. Tanya Granberry posted a cryptic Insta story saying, "I don't usually comment or say anything on this internet, even with all the negativity, the lies and hatred towards mine. However, these accusations have made me realize that I have been quiet too long." She's clearly riding for her son, but didn't bring no actual receipts defending him. The wildest part? Halle's court docs spilled that DDG's family knew about the alleged abuse. After that January steering wheel incident, Halle says she went to DDG's house and told his family everything, literally crying and begging them to help with scheduling. According to Halle, they just said, "Leave Halo and go." Family dynamics be mad messy, no cap. This alleged reaction from DDG's family raises serious questions about enablement and the cycle of abuse. DDG's fellow content creator homies are rushing to defend him though. DJ Academics hopped on stream claiming Halle was smearing DDG as a strategy play. Another DDG associate named Baby Rich tried pushing a narrative that Halle was vacationing with singer Brent Faiyaz, echoing DDG's alleged suspicions and attempting to frame her as the villain. The victim blaming is crazy. Fan psychology experts note that parasocial relationships intensify these reactions, with followers feeling personally invested in defending their favorite celebrities. Halle's role as Disney's first black live-action princess created a protective fan base that sees attacks on her as attacks on what she represents to many young viewers, adding an additional layer of emotional response to the allegations. Some people are having major regrets about previously judging Halle. User at Bardis Media pointed out, "WTF? So much happens behind the scenes while y'all bashing her for not letting him see Halo." Suddenly, everyone who criticized her parenting choices is backtracking real quick. This shift in public sentiment highlights how abuse allegations can completely recontextualize past behaviors that seem controlling or unreasonable. Family court attorneys note that protective parenting decisions are often portrayed as gatekeeping when the full context of safety concerns isn't public knowledge. Halle's reluctance to allow unsupervised access now appears potentially justified rather than vindictive. Over on Reddit, the takes are equally spicy. On our Hip Hop Heads thread, Halle Bailey has been granted a domestic violence restraining order against rapper X DDG. Users are dragging DDG's music career with comments like, "Bro sold 500 units, going in the loser ho F, Keith Sweatshirt 94, and Halle fans already knew DDG was a jealous POS, massive_professor 820. Sheesh. The discussion forums have become impromptu investigation boards, with users digging up old interviews, social media posts, and video clips that might corroborate or contradict elements of both stories. While some of this crowdsourced analysis raises valid points, psychologists caution against treating serious domestic violence allegations as entertainment or true crime content to be solved by internet detectives. Here's the real tea that's brewing now. All All the red flags from DDG's past are suddenly making sense. Remember in March when he publicly accused Halle of not letting him see Halo and dropped that manipulative track Don't Take My Son? Or last November when Halle called him out for putting Halo on Kai Cenat's stream without permission? The pieces are coming together and it's not a pretty picture. Media literacy experts point out that DDG's strategic use of public sentiment through his music and social media created a narrative that positioned him as a victim denied access to his child, when court documents now suggest there may have been legitimate safety concerns motivating Halle's restrictions. The song Don't Take My Son in particular reads very differently in light of the current allegations, potentially representing an attempt to manipulate public opinion ahead of legal action. But the plot twist that has everyone shook? Halle isn't the first girl to accuse DDG of abuse. Back in 2021, his ex Ruby Rose made similar claims that nobody took seriously. In May 2021, Rose posted a bruised arm pic on her IG story, saying DDG abused her just like her previous ex, Playboy Cardi. Even before that, in March 2021, Rose tweeted about DDG's toxic behavior, saying he blocked rappers from DMing her to prevent her from networking in the music industry. Literally blocks every rapper in the industry who DMs me, like damn, I just want to make music SMH, she wrote. Red flags everywhere, big facts. There's even a story from streamer Zias about almost witnessing DDG get physical with Ruby. Zias claims he had to step in when Ruby confronted DDG about cheating, snatched DDG's chain and threw it, and DDG looked ready to pop off with dilated pupils. Zias says he prevented a domestic scandal by de-escalating. Two different women with similar stories? That's a pattern, not a coincidence, straight up. Now Ruby Rose is getting her flowers, with people apologizing for not believing her earlier. Twitter user @TruthChina wrote, Ruby Rose already told the public that DDG abused her and nobody believed her. They think because of how she dresses or her public perception that she would somehow be lying. This man has been a menace and an abuser. The way society doubts women until a respectable victim comes forward is problematic as hell. As more of these connections emerge, social media investigators are putting together comprehensive timelines and comparison charts of the allegations from both women, identifying disturbing parallels that suggest consistent behavioral patterns across relationships. The court of public opinion is reaching its verdict, and things aren't looking good for DDG as these stories continue to reinforce each other. Court claps back, and the bigger picture. The judge's decision to grant Halle a restraining order and give her temporary full custody of baby Halo until June 4th is major. It shows the court took one look at Halle's evidence, including those disturbing photos of bruises and her chipped tooth, and said, nope, this needs immediate action. That's a huge win for Halle in the first round of this legal battle. The court didn't stop there either. They also blocked DDG from getting passports or travel docs for Halo or taking him outside LA County without Halle's written permission. This directly addresses Halle's fear that DDG might try to snatch their son and disappear, a concern based on his alleged threats and history of taking Halo without permission. The judge said, not today. The Breakfast Club broke it all down perfectly in a recent segment.
So a quick update in the Halle Bailey DDG situation. Yesterday, Halle was granted temporary sole physical and legal custody of her son that she shares with DDG Halo until June 4th, until a court hearing.
They also explained why DDG looked so surprised when the news broke during his stream.
And according to the legal docs that she filed, she did this and she didn't give any notice to DDG, because y'all remember he was on that stream and he was like confused.
The internet is having a field day with all this. On X, supporters like @LazyLavery are begging people to actually read Halle's 52-page filing instead of just reacting, saying she's genuinely concerned for her and Halo's safety, not playing games. User @chocolate_drop_Terry put it plainly. She deserved every right to make any legal choices about her child. Facts. Not everyone's fully Team Halle, though. Some, like @BBrazy_, are playing Switzerland and warning against jumping to conclusions without knowing the full story. Meanwhile, @JustinaNicolexo_ called the whole situation sick and unfortunate for all parties involved. Fair, but the evidence is stacking up against DDG. Domestic violence researchers note that this both sides approach, while seemingly reasonable, can sometimes equate victim and abuser experiences in ways that minimize harm. They point out that physical evidence like photos of injuries, police reports, and ring camera footage offers objective support for Halle's claims that transcends the he said, she said framing, often applied to abuse allegations. Looking back, the signs were all there. Remember DDG's March 2025 rants about fighting for access to Halo for months, or when Bailey had to call him out in November 2024 for putting their child on a live stream without her consent. These weren't just random parent disagreements. They were part of what looks like a larger toxic pattern. Media analysts reviewing past content from both parties have identified concerning behaviors that, viewed independently, might seem like typical co-parenting disputes, but when examined as a pattern, align with established established cycles of control and boundary testing. DDG's public statements about being denied access to his son take on new significance when contextualized within the allegations of stalking, breaking and entering, and physical violence. Legal experts are pointing out that the court's quick action on the restraining order and temporary custody shows the judge took Halle's claims dead serious. However, the temporary nature suggests they're proceeding carefully before making anything permanent, as they should. Family law attorneys who stay handling domestic violence cases point out that this balanced approach, immediate protection coupled with scheduled review, is exactly how the system is supposed to work when it's functioning right. The court got to weigh the urgent need for safety against fundamental parental rights, requiring a full hearing before making permanent determinations that could affect the parent-child relationship long term. The next big date in this saga is May 30th, when Halle and DDG are supposed to hop on a mediation call to try working out custody outside of court. Given the serious allegations and public drama, chances of them squashing this and reaching an agreement slim to none. If they can't work it out, and who we kidding, the June 4th hearing will be the main event where everything gets decided. The domestic violence claims also shine a light on how tough it is for victims to come forward, especially celebrities who know they'll face intense public judgment. Halle's comment that "I've done everything possible to avoid going to court" shows she didn't make this decision lightly. She was trying to protect her and Halo's privacy until she felt she had no choice. The timing of Halle's legal action, months after their breakup and following multiple alleged incidents, aligns with typical patterns of escalation and response. Victims often hope things will improve naturally after separation, only filing for protection when it becomes clear that boundaries continue to be violated and safety concerns persist. Her decision to act shortly after the Mother's Day text messages suggests this may have been the breaking point after attempting to handle the situation privately for months. What's especially interesting is how much attention Ruby Rose's previous allegations against DDG are getting now. Media outlets are reporting that Rose's 2021 abuse claims, which were dismissed because of her work in adult entertainment, are being reconsidered in light of Halle's similar allegations. One outlet explained, "Many observers now suggest this lack of response stemmed partly from prejudicial attitudes regarding Rose's connections to the adult entertainment industry, which may have unfairly undermined her credibility." Misogyny is showing for real. While these discussions continue online, real lives hang in the balance. For Halle, DDG, and especially baby Halo, the legal proceedings represent more than trending topics or viral moments. They're determining the fundamental structure of their family future. As the case moves toward its next phase, advocates hope that regardless of public spectacle, the court's priority remains the safety and well-being of those involved, particularly the child at the center of this complicated situation. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content.